It's the Hill Debate on the YouTube channel. Oh, hell yes.
Well, we got the exhaust off of it. We got all our new exhaust components. In other words, we've got to rig something up out of this because I don't have enough money to pay somebody to make me a proper exhaust pipe. So I went and got some flex tubing. I got a nice Amazon cheapo muffler for now. Plan on replacing this with something way better for the machine. And I want to know, because everybody says once it heats up, all the graphics on it melt. So it's going to be kind of cool to check out. We'll be able to confirm that one for you guys. The piece of pipe that we cut existing for the exhaust there are brackets. I went and picked up a couple things here to try to make my life a little bit easier. We're going to find out. We got some work to do to it. Here's the exhaust that we had on the DX. And that's where the pipe ends, right there. So we got to get from here to here to the right size and make sure that everything's sealed up right. Worst case scenario, find some tubing somewhere and bend it and weld it and cut it and do all kinds of crap to it. But we're going to try to do it without that first and see what happens. So here we go. All right, to show you what we're dealing with here. As you can see, here's the pipe. I've got it affixed onto it. I mean, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool. But it is not what this machine needs. It needs a way bigger, better, more kick-ass exhaust, but they cost a lot of money, so we're going to hold back on that and just utilize this till it goes to crap. But we got to take our tube here, our flex tube, and we have to somehow get it down to that size. So we got to do some bending on it. We'll do that. We'll bring you back after we get some bending done. Okay, we've got her kind of rigged up here. Everything's making a good connection. We haven't got anything secured at the point. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to get her a start real quick. So that way we can see where the exact leak points are, how bad that's going to leak versus how bad that's going to leak. I already have a way to fix that. But it is butted up at this point, so we'll get to that. Okay, so this little section right here is leaking just a little bit. We can fix that. Other than that, she don't sound that bad. Sounds pretty much like it's supposed to. So yeah, there it is. We have got her all tubed with some flex tubing all the way down to this joint right here that we used some fiberglass to kind of fit that up. We want to be able to take it on and off as necessary. So now the next thing to do is to go through and wrap the majority of this and then wrap the header pipe. We got a whole bunch of that blue to do it in. I think I'm going to leave the chromie out though. It's kind of cool. So anyway, let's get to the next step. Alright, so we got the header pipe off. Now we got everything else fitted. We've got our fancy fiberglass blue wrap. We're going to wrap this bad boy up. We got to get this off first. It's going to be kind of a pain, but we'll get it. We got to get that off. Then wrap this. And then seat everything up and band it. And then put it back on. And with the new exhaust. And we'll see what happens. It already sounded pretty good, so... All right, we got the pipe all wrapped up with the fiberglass. Nice looking blue there. The header pipe, she looks pretty good. Got her banded up, ready to go on. We'll take a look at this, see what it's going to look like. Oh yeah, it's going to look really good. So before we put this back on, I got some cleaning and stuff to do. And then we'll mount up the old exhaust and we'll take a look at it. Well, there it is. It's fully butted up, piped up, wrapped up, clamped up, all set to go. We're going to give her a start here in a second and just see what she sounds like, make sure she's not leaking anywhere. I think we got her pretty good, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So let's do that. Let's start her up and see what we got. Picking up here, we have disassembled the front end, or the front wheel and everything, and the brake, and it's probably a good decision to do this because that brake pad looks shot. Oh, a little bit more rust, who knows, it might have seized up. It's definitely been creating some drag. We got a brand new brake for it, so we're going to do all that. We got some painting to do. Today is going to be all about finishing up the powder coat and painting for this machine. Short of the rim, I gotta take this apart and repaint that rim because the whole front end of this thing has looked horribly ugly for a long time. So I'm looking forward to getting some of that done. We're gonna do some blasting, we're gonna do some powder coating. Things should start looking. This cover is actually finishing up being painted right now. We're doing some fine detail work with the paintbrush on that. Besides that, we still got the body over there we got to finish up, and we're going to be whiteboarding the stuff that needs to be done afterward. So we're going to get to work. I am going to disassemble this rear brake again and powder coat a whole bunch of stuff on that, make it look nice and neat. And fresh powder coat, make it last for a while. As for the fork boots, well, I think we're going to have to rebuild these struts on this. The front end forks. We're not going to get into that on this one though. We're going to wait until till maybe next winter to do that. So we're going to hold off on doing that. We're going to just manage these things as long as we can. We are going to paint the bottom half of this. I haven't decided what color. I think I like the gray, but I think in black might be the way to go. So we're going to get those cleaned up first, and then we're going to get the rest of the panels off, get those cleaned up, and get them drying, ready for sandblasting. Then we're going to sandblast them. And then while they're drying, we're going to start working on the brake. So let's get into it. Well, we got our parts soaking here. Gonna soak them in some degreaser for a little bit, and then we gotta go through and scrub everything out and get it ready for sandblasting, and then we'll bake it to get all the oils out before we powder coat it. Well, we're waiting for that to soak up. We got set up to paint the bottom forks. We're gonna do one coat of primer. No, we're gonna do 2 coats of primer, and then figure out what color we're gonna go from there. I don't know. I kind of like the gray. Kind of weird like that, but we'll see what happens. Well, we have all the parts that are going to be powder coated. They are out clean, and I wouldn't say oil free yet, but they're clean. And we're going to let them dry for a little bit, and then we're going to get to sandblasting. This is a decent amount of sandblasting to do in my little sandblaster, so this is going to take a little bit to do. Prep work is all the key when it comes to doing this. But to start off, we've got the new powders. We've never used them, so we've got a part here that I dug out of the trash, sandblasted it up. We're going to go ahead and do some test powder coating on it and make sure that our colors are going to work out the way we want them. These are still drying. They're looking pretty good. We're on coat number 2 right now. So, yeah, it's coming along. Well, it's coming along pretty good. Here's our test piece. We got that all blasted. This is the timing chain cover. This is our pull start here. This is our super chrome there. It's going to be pretty sweet. We got one more piece left to do in there. That's that brake cover. And then we'll be able to air it all out, check it for grease, and start getting the powder coating. Should be cool. Well, thank God we are done with the sandblasting for now, which I'm very happy to say turned out pretty good. Next, we get to shoot our test coat on this to try to achieve the color. I think everything's going to get a base coat of the super chrome, and then it's going to be something on top of it. So we're going to go ahead and just hit everything here. We're going to bake this one because when we switch powders, we're going to be testing our blues on that. And yeah, we'll see what we get. I'll bring you back in a little bit. I want to stop in real quick here and show you that we got most of the chrome. Oh, we got one more big piece we've got to actually powder coat and then bake. And then we can start working on the blue. This is our test piece that came out. You can see it's pretty good and shiny. So that should be a good test piece for the blue there. We're letting this cool. And then we got this guy in here is just about to flow out. This guy goes in next, and then one more piece to do. Well, my suggestion is if you got a small shop and you enjoy doing things yourself, I would suggest maybe getting yourself a powder coat set up. It makes everything easier. You can make things look a lot cleaner when you're actually doing some work on something. You don't have to pay nobody. It's just a little bit of money to get started on it. Totally capable of doing it. It's super easy. So I would suggest it. Okay, we have officially got everything powder coated, the super chrome. Everything's looking pretty good. These parts are cool. This part is not cool by any means. But we're going to just let it cool. Get set up to do the blue. We're going to do our test blast here on the blue, or test powder on the blue. We're going to do our test powder on this little piece right here. And then I'm trying to decide to probably start with that piece first because he's going to be the biggest pain. This is going to take quite a while to cool. So yeah, here we go. So with a little bit of test work, we're able to achieve exactly what I was wanting to achieve. Look at that blue. That is cool. We got a whole bunch more parts to do. Ended up having to heat it up because the charge on the gun didn't have enough to get the powder coat to stick. So we're going to have to heat the parts up first and then hit them with the blue and then bake them. But man, that looks cool. All right. Well, here's our finished product for the day. Everything turned out pretty candy, pretty good. Test piece, timing chain cover, looks pretty sweet. Pull start cover, looks pretty sweet. Front brake cover. This one's still hot, so we're letting her cool for a little bit. But yeah, powder coating is awesome.
Met your friend the other day. Heard you've been trying to reach me. Good luck with that. I threw my phone into the pool. There's no reason for your feelings. You knew the rules.
Yo, Billy, oh hell yeah! Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
Oh hell yeah!
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!